Good afternoon, Storm fans. I'm sure you would expect me to be saying first pitch is about to be underway, but we have a slight delay. Last night we had rain, and so we're getting the field ready. Umpires decided to give a 30-minute delay to our game time. So we will be starting at 12:30 Central European time, and we'll be coming back to you with live baseball. Right now, both teams are warming up. It definitely is a spring afternoon here in our area of Germany. Typical German spring weather. This morning it was cloudy, cold, and wet. Now it is just windy, cold, and the sun is coming out. But we will have a baseball game in 20 minutes. So once we have the lineups for today, I'll come back to you with that. Until then, we'll keep in touch if there's any other delays. So, welcome all of you once again to the live stream of the Hünstetten Storm Hamburg Steelers baseball game. My name is James Passo, your voice of the Hünstetten Storm. Have the lineups for you today. Starting off with a visiting team, Hamburg Steelers are batting order for this afternoon. Leading off and playing second base, number 6, Alejandro Giraldo. Batting second, third baseman, number 2, Max Tracy. Batting third and playing center field, number 26, Mike Imka. Batting cleanup, that's batting fourth, their catcher, number 11, Isaiah Lucina. Batting fifth, the starting shortstop, number 24, Mark Harder. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 8, Livio Bundi. The designated hitter for the Steelers this afternoon, number 13, Malo Zimmerman. Batting eighth, first baseman, number 16, Marvin Kilich. And batting ninth, their first baseman, number 37, Hendrik Schultz. The starting pitcher for the Steelers this afternoon will be number 44, Ivan Anduzia. Now, for the home Storm. Starting lineup. Batting leadoff and playing center field, number 2, Jake McKenzie. And the number 2 spot, our left fielder, number 17, Vester Bacchio. Batting third, our shortstop, Augustine Teixeira, number 8. Batting cleanup and playing third base, number 9, Zach Johnson. Our second baseman will be Daniel Martins, number 99. Batting seventh, playing first base, Toby Glimmerud, number 18. We followed by our catcher, Douglas Yoakum, number 22. Batting eighth, playing right field, Oliver Yoakum, number 26. And designated hitter for this afternoon for the Storm, number 31, Phil Meyer. Our starting pitcher will be number 38, Brian Perez. Still have 15 minutes before teams take the field. We're still having some warm-up tosses in the outfield by both Steelers and Storm. Weather has definitely changed for the better. This morning it was cloudy, cold, and wet. Now it is sunshine, blue skies, still cold, and the wet is drying. Yesterday, wind was blowing from the left field foul pole in. Today, it's blowing from the same direction, but harder. Let's see if that will make any difference for the pitchers this afternoon. So, we do have chat. If you would like to say hi, give a message to any players you want to give a shout out to, more than welcome. And we try to answer as we can. But for now, we're going to take another break, and we'll come back when closer game time. So, update. We'll be starting here within the next 5 minutes. We'll see how it goes. We're chalking the lines now that the dirt is dry enough for play. Umpires are having a little conference in front of the Storm dugout. I'll run through the starting lineups once again. The batting order for the Hamburg Steelers, the visiting Steelers. Batting leadoff, number 6, Alejandro Hilardo. Batting second is Max Tracy. Batting third, Mike Imka. Batting fourth, Isaiah Lucina. Batting fifth, Mark Harder. Batting sixth, Levo Bundy. Seventh, Malo Zimmerman. Eighth, Marvin Killish. Batting ninth, Hendrik Schultz. The pitcher for the Steelers will be Ivan Andoza. Batting order for the Hünstetten Storm. Leading off, Jake McKenzie. Batting second, Vester Bacchio. Batting third, Augustine Tessara. Batting fourth, Zach Johnson. Batting fifth, Daniel Martins. Batting sixth, Tobias Glimmerud. Seventh, Douglas Yoakum. Eighth, Oliver Yoakum. And batting ninth and the designated hitter is Phil Meyer. As the teams are getting ready for this afternoon's action, Storm wearing their yellow tops, white bottoms. Visiting Hamburg Steelers wearing their red tops and gray bottoms. Yesterday's action was very much in the favor of Hünstetten. After being down 4-0 in the first inning, Hünstetten did not let up. In the third inning, they came back, scoring 3 runs. In the fifth inning, they scored 3 more to take a 2-run lead. And then in the seventh, they just took complete control of the ball game. Final score yesterday was 14-4 as the 10-run rule was enacted after Hünstetten was able to bring in 2 more runs on a screaming liner down the first base line by Vester Bacchio. Bacchio being yesterday's MVP, with going 4 for 5 with a home run, 3-run home run, and 5 RBIs. Now we have the umpiring crew walking out with manager Bill Dickman and bench and first base coach Bruce Carson. Waiting now for Steelers to send out their manager for the day with the lineup cards. So we will be getting underway here very soon. And once we do, I'll bring you the action as it happens. So, good afternoon, baseball fans. Hünstetten Storm hosting the Hamburg Steelers for Game 2 of a two-game weekend series here in Hünstetten. Hamburg Steelers lost yesterday's game 14-4. Storm looking to continue yesterday's success this afternoon. Sun is coming out, really highlighting the yellow jerseys that their Hünstetten Storm are wearing this afternoon. Starting pitcher for the Hünstetten Storm will be Brian Perez, number 38. Defensively for Storm, behind the plate, number 22, Douglas Yoakum. At first base, number 18, Tobias Glimmerud. Second base, number 99, Daniel Martins. At shortstop, number 8, Augustine Teixeira. Third base, number 9, Zach Johnson. Left field, number 17, Vester Bacchio. Center field, number 2, Jake McKenzie. And in right field is number 26, Oliver Yoakum. Leading off for the Hamburg Steelers will be number 6, the second baseman, Alejandro Hilaldo. He'll be followed by Max Tracy, number 2, and number 26, Mike Emka. That's the 1-2-3 to lead off the game for the Steelers. As cloudy and as rainy as it was this morning, it is a beautiful afternoon for baseball. So I welcome all of you to the stream. Welcome everyone who is actually joining us here live in Hünstetten. If you have time to come out, if you're in the area, please do. It is a lovely afternoon. Just make sure you dress appropriately. There is no bad weather, just bad clothing choices. And with that, coming up to bat now for the Hamburg Steelers, number 6, Alejandro Hilaldo, stepping into the right-handed batter's box. Storm pitcher Brian Perez has a sign, come set, first pitch of the afternoon, in there for a called strike. Wind is blowing in from left field. We'll see if that affects the pitching performance. Perez's next pitch does catch the zone for a called strike 2. Hilaldo looked back, wasn't sure if he actually heard correctly. So taking a little time, stepping out of the box. Sun coming out. If you notice, the shadows are a bit different today. We have an earlier start since Hamburg needs to drive back north. The 0-2 skipped up in there for ball 1. A normal start time is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but since Hamburg has such a long drive ahead of them, the start is a little bit earlier. The 1-2 doesn't catch top of the zone, 2-2. Perez's 2-2 pitch out of the zone. Full count now to the leadoff batter, Hilaldo. Swing and a miss for out number 1. As a strikeout to start the game off for Brian. In yesterday's ball game, Phil Meyer went the distance, 103 pitches and pitched a complete game. That left all the remaining pitchers that we have on Storm staff fresh for this afternoon. And with this cold weather, hopefully Brian, our starting pitcher, stays warm. First pitch doesn't catch top of the zone, ball 1. Right now, bat is number 2, Max Tracy, the third baseman. Just a bit low and outside for ball 2. Now the 2-0 pitch bounced up in there for 3-0. Perez has the ball back from his catcher Yoakum and taking a little breather, recomposing himself, but he's back ready, and his 3-0 offering in there for a strike. Tracy stepped away from the plate, put the bat on his shoulder. He wasn't going to swing either way. Now the 3-1 from Perez bounced up in there for a 1-out walk. And with that 1-out walk, we'll bring number 26, Mike Yemka, up to bat. Yemka, the left batting center fielder, is not in the box yet. Now that Tracy is on first, gave his gear to the first baseman coach. Now we're ready. Little throw over. Tracy wasn't even that far off base. I think Perez was trying to catch him walking into his position. Inside, ball 1. On deck, number 11, Zayas Lucina. Perez, long look in at Yoakum's signs. Nods yes, he likes what he saw. Runner going. Inside. Ball stays at the feet of the batter. Stolen base. Yoakum lost track of where the ball was, but the ball stayed at the feet of the batter. Now 2 balls, runner at second, 1 out. Perez calls time, steps off the rubber. This pitch is in there for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike now on Lucina. Oh, my apologies, on Imka. Lucina is on deck. Three-one as the ball did not catch the top of the zone. In there, called strike. Ball cut the bottom of the zone. Although Imka thought it was ball 4 and started walking off without even waiting for the call from home plate umpire. Now with a full count, Perez has his pitch. And that is ball 4. Runner is off on the throw. He makes third without a throw from Yoakum. Ball got away just only about a meter away from Yoakum, but as soon as the pitch was bobbled, Tracy took off running for third. So now runners at the corners, 1 out, brings up Lucina. In there for a called strike. Game time temperature here in Hünstetten is a fresh 11 degrees. Wind chill, making it a little cooler than that. 0-1 pitch, swung on and hit, and drops in left field in front of left fielder who throws in. Runner scores. It is a RBI single for Lucina. Now with runner on first and second, brings up number 24, the shortstop, Mark Harder. Wind might be a bit of a factor in the outfield as I watched our left fielder, Bacchio, running in, and then the ball drops in front of him. So ball may have been pushed. We'll see if that will be something to look out for during the game. Now the first pitch to Harder. Oh, make that. Not yet. Perez stepped off. Now he's looking in for another sign. See, more people are joining us here in Hünstetten. Harder lays down a bunt. Perez thought about going to third, but then throws out the runner at first. Sack bunt is successful. Runners moved over. Now with 2 outs, runners at second and third. Number 8, Levo Bundy. Levo Bundy now with runners in scoring position, but 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Perez's pitch is in there for a called strike to Bundy. Perez, long look in, checks the runner at second. The 0-1 pitch, swung on and chopped. Caught by the second baseman, but his throw is offline and into foul territory. 2 runs are in on the chopper to second. So it is now 3-0 Hamburg with 2 outs. Brings up to bat number 13, the designated hitter, Malo Zimmerman. Perez's first pitch to Zimmerman is up and outside for ball 1. It's not an infield single. It is the runner that was at second came in on the errant throw. Perez's next pitch, doesn't catch the top of the zone. So it's 2 balls, no strikes now to Zimmerman. On deck is Marvin Killish. The throw over and a head first dive back into first base. Runner wasn't that far off of the base. Now 3-0 as that ball was in the dirt. And the ball catches the inside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike now with only 1 out. Runner at first. 3 have already come home. 2 outs. My apologies. Ball 4. Now with 2 on, 2 outs, brings up to bat number 16, the first baseman, Marvin Killish. Looks like Perez is trying to figure out the strike zone. I don't know if the wind has anything to do with ball placement. Pitch is in there for a called strike. Perez with that long look in, checking the runner at second. The 0-1 pitch, low and inside, ball 1. With an earlier start and the weather being as it is, it does affect a ball's movement, as called strike 2 on that pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. If you want to put any type of movement on the ball, you have to adjust for the wind, and it's not always consistent wind, so it doesn't help. Oh, check swing. Apparently he didn't go around, according to first base umpire, but looked like it from here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. 3 runners have already come across. But that is a full swing for a swinging strike 3 to end the inning. Hamburg strikes first once again, this time putting 3 runs on the board in the top of the first. Now we go to the home half of the first inning. Hamburg 3, Hünstetten nothing. All right, now we are back. Had a little audio difficulties. The starting pitcher for the Hamburg Steelers is Ivan Anduzia. He's facing Jake McKenzie, Vester Bacchio, and Augustine Tishar, the 1-2-3 for Hünstetten Storm. During the audio difficulties, 3 pitches have gone on. It is 2 balls, 1 strike. Now it is 3 balls, 1 strike to Jake McKenzie. McKenzie, our starting center fielder. 3-1 pitch swung on and hit behind us into the, I'm assuming it's wheat fields. It's not the Raps fields that you can see in the distance. And there is a young fan running after the ball. Full count now on McKenzie. The Fordham University grad from Connecticut waits on the pitch. Takes high, ball 4. Leadoff walk. Brings up the bat the MVP from yesterday, Vescher Bacchio. Bacchio was the offense yesterday. 3-run home run and then a 2-run RBI to end the game. Discussion going on right now between the pitcher and the first base umpire. Not sure what was going on. Threw out the ball that was in play. Now the discussion is over. Bocchio is now stepping into the left-handed batter's box. On deck is Augustine Teixeira. Now the left-hander Andozia pitches, catches corner, strike 1. I hope it can be seen on camera how nice it is today. Bocchio shows bunt, does not get the bat away and does not get the bunt down, and so that it is strike 2. Signs are being given by Bill Dickman at third base. Stare down to McKenzie at first. Here's the 0-2. It's a swing and a chopper. Not fielded cleanly by the second baseman. I don't even think that the ball touched his glove. It went under it. So, no outs. Runners at first and second. Brings up our shortstop, Augustine Teixeira. On deck is our third baseman, Zach Johnson. Anduza's pitch is inside, ball 1. Anduza is more of a power pitcher, if I remember correctly. He does have gas on his pitches. Let's see if he has some control. Checking the runner at second, who is dancing. McKenzie is off. Throw down to third is not in time. Stolen base. Jake McKenzie dancing off of second and took off as soon as pitcher came set. And ball was not in time. Runners in the corners. 2-ball count, no strikes on Teixeira. Actually make that 1-ball, 1 strike, as I see the umpire giving the signs here, or giving the call. Now the pitch. That's a slow roller in the infield. Runner comes home, and it is a sack for Teixeira. Brings a runner at third home. That is a manufactured run by McKenzie. Moves the runner over to second. Now with 1 out, runner at second, brings up our third baseman, Zach Johnson. The big right-hander is in the box waiting for the pitch. First pitch he sees is in there for a called strike. Bacchio looks like he's also going to dance off of second as well. Maybe disrupt the timing of the pitcher. We'll see what happens. On deck is Daniel Martins. It's a chopper down the third base line, but well foul. No balls, 2-strike count to our third baseman. Really is a true difference between how the game looked, how things were before the game started and to right now. Beautiful blue skies. Fouled back directly to screen. Stays alive in the at-bat. On deck is Daniel Martins. In the hole is Tobias Glimmerud. Now the 0-2 for Mendoza. Outside, ball one. Not sure if he was trying to spin that one in over the plate or his intention was going outside, hoping for a swing. Basio taking a larger lead off of second. 1-2 pitch is outside, ball two. Make that a full count. Anduzia got ahead of Johnson in the beginning of this at bat with 2 strikes, but Johnson has worked it down to a full count, 3-2. Inside, ball gets away. It's ball 4, and Bacchio is able to scamper over to third. Now with 1 out, runners at the corners, brings up Daniel Martins. Great at bat by Johnson. There was 2 pitches on the outside that may have broke in, maybe not, but he didn't swing. Paid off for him. Now with runners at corners, 1 out is our second baseman, Daniel Martins. Pitcher Mendoza is in there on the inside for a called strike 1. On deck is our first baseman, Tobias Glimmerud, apologies. Oh, and Martin sends a rocket shot up the middle past 2 diving Steelers. It is a very strong RBI single for Daniel Martins. He sent that 0-1 pitch right back to the pitcher. Now with 1 out, runners at second and first is Tobias Glimmerud. Glimmerud in the left-handed batter's box as Mendoza is checking the runner at second. His pitch is in there for a called strike. Martins, screamer of a comebacker. It was actually quite interesting watching it go past 2 gloves, completely diving and missing. So that next pitch to Glimmerud was a ball. Johnson takes his lead off of second. The 1-1. Swing and a chopper to second, slow roller. Flip to second for 1. Not in time at first. So with 2 outs, runners at the corners. Brings up our catcher, number 22, Douglas Yoakum. On the fielder's choice, move the runner over from second. Johnson is now at third base. Douglas Yoakum has an opportunity here to bring him home. 2 outs, runner in scoring position, runner at first as well. First pitch is outside, ball 1. On deck is his brother, Oliver Yoakum. Glimmerud going, swing and a miss. No throw to second. Now, two runners in scoring position for Yoakum. And the pitch is a chopper, but just out of the reach of Bill Dickman. Allowing Sunshine running down to get the ball. I guess that is his duty for this weekend, as he did that all of yesterday's game. And that ends the first inning. It is called strike 3. 2 runners stranded, but Storm does put up a crooked number. Going into the top of the second inning, Steelers 3, Storm 2. Going into the top of the second, Storm down by 1. I welcome all of you who are tuning in to this afternoon's game. Brian Perez back on the mound getting his warm-up tosses. Steelers will send Schultz, Geraldo, and Tracy this inning. Looks like home plate umpire pretty much said, nope, you're done. It's too cold to be standing around. Welcome those of you who are tuning in live on Storm TV on YouTube. I understand the scoreboard might be behind a little bit. It's not our doing. This is the program the DBL uses. Sometimes it's a little bit slow, but at least it's working today. First pitch to Schultz was low for ball 1. Next pitch does catch the bottom of the zone for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here to start the visitors' half of the second inning. Nice pitch, catches the zone. 1 ball, 2 strike count now, as the sun's coming out from behind the clouds again. Ball 2. Looks like the wind has stopped for the moment. Two-two pitch is fouled down the first base line and out of play. And I see see 3 kids running after that foul ball. Let's see who gets it first. Perez's 2-2. In there, called strike 3. Great pitch. Now with 1 out, back to the top of the order for the Steelers. Number 6, Alejandro Hilaldo is up to bat. On deck is number 2, the third baseman, Max Tracy. Perez's pitch high, ball 1. Those 3 young ones are venturing out into the wheat field looking for that foul ball. 1-0 inside, ball 2. Wind has picked up again. Low, ball 3. As I said, wind can affect the ball's movement, and the ball looked like it was pushed down right before it got to home plate. 3-0 fastball, called strike. I don't think it's being picked up on my microphone, but we can hear the wind howling outside the press box. 3-1 pitch is fouled down first base line. Full count. With the wind blowing as it is, I look over to my right. You can't see, unfortunately. The cameras, we can't move them. But I'm watching the wind go across the growing field of wheat. It actually looks like waves on the ocean as it goes across. Actually quite beautiful. And as I look out towards left, I see the sun shining on the Raps fields. The yellow of our jerseys matching the color of the fields. Now the 3-2 pitch. Caught. Screaming liner directly towards Glimmerud at first for out number 2. With 2 outs, brings up to bat number 2 for the Steelers, Max Tracy. That was a screaming liner. Glimmerud was able to get his glove out there. Great placement by the first baseman. Pitch got away. It looked like it slipped out of his fingers. Ball 1. Definitely wasn't what Perez was trying to do with that pitch. Just got a piece of wood on that for a foul directly back to the backstop. Tracy now has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And next pitch, chopper to short. Oh, dies on the dirt for a 2-out single. Sometimes the field actually gives you that bounce. Sometimes it doesn't. And in that, it looked like the dirt literally just ate the momentum of the ball. So no bounce. Ball goes underneath the shortstop's glove. Puts a runner at first with 2 outs. Brings up the bat number 26, Mike Imka. Imka, first pitch swinging. High, foul, and out of play. Perez looking in at the signs, checking the runner at first, who is now taking his steps off. 0-1 is way outside, ball 1. Perez's 1-1 is screamed just over the head of the first base coach, who had to dive or duck out of the way. That's why the coaches wear helmets. 1 ball, 2 strike count now with 2 outs. Runner going. It's a high pop fly, but the wind pushes it foul. Runner has to reset. Runner was going on the pitch. Fairly normal baseball operations when you're at 2 outs. Go on the pitch. Let's see if they go back to that now. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Perez's pitch is high. Missed by the catcher. Advances the runner to second. Again, not sure if this is a grip issue or what's going on. This is now third or fourth pitch I've seen from Perez here, where the ball is flying open and not actually going where he wants it. But end result, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at second with 2 outs. Pitch is inside, ball 3. Don't know if Perez was wanting to just throw in a fastball or what, but we'll see what happens here. Perez is 3-2 in the dirt. They have the runner. Well, they had the runner going, but the throw not in time to pick him off at second. Time is called. It was ball 4. Runners at first and second, 2 out. Brings up to bat number 11, Isaiah Lucina. The throw from Yoakum was to third. The throw from third to second just not in time, as the runner got back in, kind of interrupted what the shortstop was doing. Thankfully, the ball didn't get too far away, as the second baseman Martins was able to collect the ball to make sure that the runner at second didn't advance. First pitch swinging, high pop fly. That lands just over my right shoulder and into the field. Quickly, a kid is out there to pick up the ball. I think he was actually waiting for one to be popped directly behind the backstop. And he quickly has it, and he's all smiles. Quick toss to Dad. Here, Dad, put it in your pocket. Next pitch in there, called strike. Quickly ahead of the batter, Lucina. Lucina gets on base. On deck right now is Harder. Perez, long look in, has the sign that he wants. The 0-2 swing and a foul back over the Storm dugout and into the field that's over to our left. Stays alive in the at-bat. Again, the 0-2 pitch. Just a bit wide, ball 1. Ball had some interesting motion on the pitch. One and two is in the dirt. Runner's able to walk to the next base, as it is now a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Runners in scoring position for Lucina. Perez looking in. 2-2 pitch swung on and chopped. Fielded and out. Daniel Martin's able to field the ball at second, toss it over to Glimmerud at first to complete the inning. Those runners in scoring position do not come across. Going into the bottom of the second inning is still 3-2. Going into the bottom of the second, Storm down by 1. They'll send up to bat Oliver Yoakum, Phil Meyer, and Jake McKenzie here against Andosia. It is a beautiful afternoon here in Hünstetten. I can't say it enough times. Love seeing the blue skies, white clouds. Yes, we do have the wind occasionally blowing. Right now it's not blowing, not so hard. I can see it's actually still blowing in from left. So we'll see what that does for Andosia. Warm-up tosses are over. Coming up to bat now, our homegrown right fielder, number 26, Oliver Yoakum. First pitch to Yoakum in there for a called strike. Andosia's next pitch is in the left-handed batter's box for a ball. Lucina, the catcher, was set up on the outside. Now the 1-1 pitch. Yoakum fouls it back to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Outside, ball 2. Andosia's 2-2 pitch. Checks. Oh, home plate umpire says nope, that catches zone. As strike 3 looking for out number 1. Brings up our designated hitter for the afternoon, number 31, Phil Meyer. Meyer was the starting pitcher and the winning pitcher yesterday as he went 7 innings, 103 pitches on the afternoon, handling designated hitter duties today. First pitch in there for called strike. On deck is Jake McKenzie. Meyer drops a single in front of the left fielder. One out single for Phil Meyer brings up to bat Jake McKenzie. Meyer has been hitting the ball better as of late. Now with one out, runner at first, brings up our center fielder, Jake McKenzie. McKenzie showing bunt. Pulls it back just in time, ball one. Got a walk and a stolen base in the bottom of the first inning. Shows bunt again, pulls it back, but this time it is in the zone for a called strike. Signs being given by Bill Dickman. Swing and a high and deep strike two as that ball goes foul down the right field line. Phil Meyer has to go back to first as I see another fan running out into the fields to find that ball. Swing, high foul back behind the backstop. Stays alive in the at-bat. Wind is picking up again. I can hear it actually blowing against the press box now. The 1-2 from Mendoza outside, ball two. On deck is Vesterbacio. Meyer not taking more than a half step off of first. Foul just missing the press box. Not too often we get a ball up here. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count with one out here in the bottom of the second inning. Phil Meyer at first. Time called. Meyer on with a one-out single to left field. Pitch swung on, fouled down third base line. Bill Dickman points out, go get the ball. This time is Jonas Sonnenschein going to get the ball. Cousin of Lauren. Catcher sets up outside. Ball goes inside for a called strike three looking. Ball was directly over the heart of the plate on that one. 2 outs, runner at first. Brings up our left fielder, Vesterbacio. First pitch was low and outside for a ball. Bacchio looking to continue yesterday's hot performance. His first at bat was a base hit. Next pitch way outside, ball two. As the sky's ever looking even more and more blue, that pitch caught the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike count now to Bacchio. As I said, he wants to continue that hot streak. Yesterday with 5 RBI performance, 5 at bats, 4 hits. Chopper to first, fielded and taken by the first baseman himself for out number 3. That ends the second inning. Going into the top of the third, Storm still down by 1. Here we are going into the top of the third inning. Storm down by 1. Perez back on the bump for Storm. Brings up to bat number 24, the shortstop, Mark Harder. It'll be Harder, Bundy, and Zimmerman, the 1-2-3 in the third inning. Perez actually had a little bit longer this time than he had the previous inning to warm up, as the home plate umpire gave extra time since the third base umpire went to go get some gloves, as it is a little fresh on the field. That first pitch was not in the zone, so it is ball 1. Next pitch outside, ball 2. Yoakum was set up outside for that pitch. Going into the top of the second inning, Perez looked like he only was given a couple of pitches for warm-up as the pitch is tapped to short. The second baseman throws over for out number 1. Brings up Bundy, the right fielder. But to start here, the top of the third inning, it was noticed how long of a warm-up Perez was able to have, and then we saw the third base umpire running back in after getting some gloves. I don't blame him. If it's cold, you can't really keep your hands in your pockets the entire time. First pitch to Bundy is in there for a called strike. On deck is Zimmerman. Perez's pitch catches the jersey for a hit by pitch. Puts Bundy on first. Personally, couldn't quite see the ball graze the jersey. Home plate umpire said it did. Not arguing against that one. I know Phil Meyer had a pitch yesterday, was inside and looked like it unbuttoned his jersey, but wasn't ruled as a hit by pitch. First pitch that Zimmerman sees is in there for a called strike. On deck is Marvin Killish. Boondy dancing at first. Swing and a miss, strike two. Sun back behind clouds, so won't be a factor. I think right now wind is the only factor on the field. 0-2 pitch, swung on and slapped down the first base line and foul. Zimmerman stays alive in the at-bat. A few kids and looks like a Steelers fan out there going for that ball. Oh! Ball does not catch the outside zone. It is ball one. It's a great pitch. Thought for sure it'd be catching the zone, but it did not. Perez is 1-2. Fouled back to the net. Retrieved by Kilish. Runner going. It is a swing and it is a tapper bobbled by the second baseman Martins. Puts runners at the corners now with one out. Brings up the first baseman Marvin Kilish. It was a hit and run, well executed. Ball was hit just off the end of the bat. Martins tried to make a play on the ball because could not get a handle on it. And since the ball got away from him, runner didn't stop at second, and he continued on to third. Bunt being shown by Kilish. Apparently he got the bat back as the ball went under it. Wasn't ruled a strike. Zimmerman's ball being ruled an infield hit. Next pitch gets away from the catcher. Runner from third comes across. Ball spiked in the dirt and just went past the catcher. Moves the runners over. It is now a 4-2 Steeler lead. Perez's next pitch is inside, ball. High, ball 4. Puts runners now at first and second for the first baseman, Schultz. And that'll bring out the pitching coach, Rizzo, to talk to his starter. Perez having some control issues this afternoon. Hopefully he can actually calm his pitcher down. While the mound visit's going on, there is a bit of a visit between the batter, the runner at second, and the skipper for the Steelers. Mound visit over. Rizzo had his say. Hopefully it calmed down Perez. With one out, runners at first and second. Brings up the first baseman, Schultz. After checking the runner at second, Perez throws. Bunt was shown. How? Oh, that is not. Sorry, folks. Ball went high. Bunt was shown. Bat never pulled out of the zone, and first base umpire said no, he didn't offer at the ball. And that next pitch didn't catch top of zone either. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Now then, 2 balls, no strikes. Doesn't catch bottom of the zone now, so it's 3 balls, no strikes. Activity just starting here in the Storm bullpen. Called strike 1. Actually looked like it in the same spot that was ruled a ball earlier. 3-1 count on Schultz. Same place again. Called strike. Full count. On deck is number 6, Geraldo. Now 3-2 pitch on the way. It is a chopper. Fielded. Oh, not fielded. Everyone is safe. Daniel Martins lost the ball on the grab. Puts bases loaded with 1 out. Brings up to bat the second baseman for the Steelers, Alejandro Giraldo. Error on the second baseman. Puts bases loaded. And Steelers take advantage with a 2-out single. A 1-out single here. Advances the runners around. It's now a 5-2 lead. And brings up to bat number 2, Max Tracy. 1 out, bases still loaded. Tracy finally in the batter's box as Perez was having a very long look in at signs. Pitch in there, called strike. Another long look in. 0-1 pitch is swung on and hit. Playable for the center fielder. Catch. Runner at third tags, but he is only faking as Glimmerud fields the ball and fakes a throw himself back to third. 2 outs, bases loaded, brings up the bat number 26, Mike Imke. Left-hander swings at the first pitch, and the ball is caught by Yoakum in right field. Oliver Yoakum making a diving catch. Great Blue Star catch on that. Perez waiting to thank his right fielder. And there's the high five. Going into the bottom of the third inning, Storm down by 2. Going into the bottom of the third, I misspoke as we were leaving the top of the third. It is 5-2 Steelers. Mendoza back on the mound. He'll face Gisara, Johnson, and Martins in this bottom of the third inning. First pitch in there for a called strike. Sun is back out from behind the clouds. That next pitch down around the knees, actually more like the shins of Tashar. He has to skip out of the way for ball one. Action in Storm bullpen. Tashar chops at the ball, sends it foul for strike two. Looks like it is newest player acquired by Storm. He just arrived yesterday after the end of our ball game. The chopper bounces foul. Tashara will have to come back. Looks like it's our newest pitcher. It is Javier Montero warming up. Flight was a little delayed. He couldn't get here for yesterday's game, so he arrived afterwards. Teixeira now back in the batter's box. It's a one ball, two strike count here to start the home half, the third inning. Mendoza's pitch is chopped. Fielded by the third baseman. High throw. Teixeira is able to make it to the second as that ball went out of play. So, infield single, error, base taken on the errant throw from the third baseman. High throw to his first baseman. Runner at second brings up Zach Johnson. Johnson waiting on the pitch. High outside, ball one. Great view here from Dickman Field. From my vantage point, I can see the Gross of Hillberg from here. Johnson, chopper down third base. Oh, not fielded well by Bill Dickman. Though he's able to get it, toss it out of play. View of the tallness here is very nice, especially when the sun is shining on it. As Mendoza checks the runner at second, throw behind, but Teixeira is able to get back. Shortstop running over. They're trying a pickoff move there. Shortstop walking closer now to Teixeira, who's not that far off of second. Pitch is swung on and chopped. Fielded by the shortstop, who throws accurately to the first baseman, moves the runner over from second. Moves the runner over. Teixeira now at third with one out. Brings up our second baseman, Daniel Martins. On deck is Tobias Glimmerud. Martin's in the box. Ready for the pitch from Mendoza. Pitch swung on, skied. Is it deep enough to score? Teixeira is faking a run. Throw was a little offline. But Tashara has to go back to third base. Now with 2 outs, runner in scoring position is Tobias Glimmerud. Glimmerud able to get on base. He will bring up to bat number 22, Douglas Yoakum, who's on deck. Glimmerud waiting in the left-handed batter's box for the left-handed pitcher to deal. Pitch is, catches the top corner of the zone for a called strike 1. The 0-1 swung on and missed. Foul tip, as the home plate umpire says. Foul tip, strike 2. Catcher set up outside. Home plate umpire says that catches the zone for a called strike 3 looking. That ball looked increasingly higher and more outside than pitches that have been ruled balls. But whatever. End of the inning, Storm down by 3 going into the top of the 4th inning. As we go into the top of the 4th inning, we have a pitching change for Storm. Storm bringing in right-hander number 42, Javier Montero Solano. Apologies. As I said, Montero was added yesterday. His flight didn't arrive until after the game ended. Big right-hander is getting his warm-up tosses in. He'll face Lucena, Harda, and Bundy. Home plate umpire is allowing one more. It looks like one more warm-up toss. Still waiting for the Steelers skipper to make his way down. And warm-up tosses are over. First batter Montero will face in the Storm uniform will be number 11. The catcher for the Hamburg Steelers is Zayas Lucena. Lucena in the left-handed batter's box waiting Montero's pitch in there for a called strike. The 0-1 is tapped, fielded by Daniel Martins, who softly tosses over for out number 1. Up to bat now, shortstop Mark Harder. And the first pitch from Montero is inside for a ball, just a little too inside as the sun is coming out from behind the clouds. The 0-1 is chopped foul down the first base line. Fielded by Limerud. 1-1 count. On deck is Bundy. More and more fans are out here at Dickman Field as the weather is becoming nicer. The 1-1 pitch is slapped into left center. Throw is at 2-2, but the runner is in as the ball is not fielded cleanly. Jake McKenzie was able to get the ball as it went to deep left center. His throw to second, though, had to be cut off. And then the toss over to second just wasn't in time. So with one out, runner at second, it brings up Bundy. As I was saying, more fans are out. Everyone had to dig out their warmer jackets and other clothing as it is a bit fresh today. Still, temperatures right around 11 degrees Celsius. With the wind blowing, it's making it a lot colder. Montero's first pitch to Bundy is in there on the outside for strike one. Hard throw in there, called strike two from Montero. Harder kind of dancing at second as ball is slapped just under the glove of the first baseman. Throw to home is offline. Not fielded cleanly by the catcher. It is an RBI single as the batter, as Bundy's able to reach second on the throw to the plate. It is now 6-2 Steelers. That brings up to bat the designated hitter Zimmerman, number 13. Pitcher Montero is slapped, fielded cleanly by the first baseman Glimmerud, who takes it himself for out number 2. Runner advances from second to third. Now with 2 outs, runner at third brings up the first baseman Marvin Killish. Montero on the rubber now, looking in, get his signs. His first pitch doesn't catch inside zone, ball 1. Killish waiting on the next pitch. Catches zone, it's 1-1 count. Bundy at third, maybe taking a step or two off. Montero's 1-1, outside, ball 2. As the sun is out now, even more so than it was earlier. Montero's 2-1 pitch in there, called strike, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at third. Montero does not get the call. It is now a full count on Kilish. Fans were not happy. I could hear the groaning up here as the fans thought that was actually called strike 3. That is strike 3. Swing and a miss ends the inning. Steelers able to bring another runner across. Going into the bottom of the 4th inning, Steelers 6, Hünstetten Storm 2. Going into the bottom of the 4th, Storm down by 4. They'll send up to plate Yoakum, and Meyer, which sounds like a law firm. Douglas Yoakum now stepping into the box. He'll face Ondoza. Ondoza with 55 pitches on the afternoon so far. And the first pitch of the home half of the 4th inning is skipped up into the dirt. Ball 1. Yoakum waiting on the next pitch. Went over from Ondoza, swung on and slapped foul behind the backstop over the press box here and into the wheat field. Other DBL action going on right now in Har. The Har Disciples are down 9-2 to Heidenkopf. Now the 1-1 pitch swung on and driven. That splits the gap, and that is all the way to the warning track into the fence. Yoakum with a single. He's thinking 3 all the way, and he is in there with a stand-up triple. Douglas Yoakum starting off the bottom of the 4th inning with a stand-up triple. Time called. Great bit of hitting there by our catcher, Yoakum. Now with his brother at third, Oliver Yoakum steps up to bat with no outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch to Oliver Yoakum is swung on and slapped foul into the wheat fields. Just a bit late on that swing. Times that a little bit earlier, his brother's coming home to score. High, ball 1. Catcher had to jump a bit at that one to keep it from going to the backstop. Oliver Yoakum waiting on the 1-1. High inside, ball 2. Anduza looking in. 2-1 pitch in there, called strike. Other DBL action going on today. Bond Capitals hosting the Cologne Cardinals. They just started. It's 0-0. Yoakum fouls the ball sky high over the press box here. Keeps the bat alive. On deck is Phil Meyer. In the hole is Jake McKenzie. Yoakum swings and misses at a pitch that was in the dirt, but gets away from the catcher. Unfortunately, not far enough away to bring his brother home. Brings up the bat our designated hitter for the afternoon, Phil Meyer. As sounds of the King play for as Phil Meyer is walking up to the batter's box. I want to thank all of you who are watching this afternoon on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Meyer's ready and waiting. 1 out, runner at third. Pitch gets away from the catcher, and Yoakum is able to score on the wild pitch. Cuts the Steelers' lead in half. It is now 6-3. Meyer is batting now with no on and a ball. Swing and a miss. Do believe it is a 1-ball, 2-strike count. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Phil Meyer. Swing and a slap shot. Oh, vacuumed up by the second baseman. Throw over for the out. That brings up the bat, the top of our order, Jake McKenzie. McKenzie was called out on a strike that looked a bit out of zone the last at bat he had. First pitch he sees is swinging. Bouncer fielded cleanly by the shortstop, and he doesn't leg out the throw. That is the end of the 4th inning. Storm does put a runner across the plate going into the top of the 5th. Steelers 6, Storm 3. As we're going into the top of the fifth inning, Storm down by 3. Montero back on the mound for Storm. He'll face Schultz, Hiraldo, and Tracy. No activity in the Steelers bullpen. Montero's pitch in there for a called strike. Absolutely gorgeous afternoon for baseball, ladies and gentlemen. Wish you were here. Pitch is low, doesn't catch zone, ball 1. If you were here, I would hope you're wearing a jacket or at least something to break the wind. I see people wearing either heavy winter jackets or a hoodie. 1-1 pitch inside, ball 2. But if you're not here, I'm glad you're at least watching online. Montero shakes off the sign, does have the one he wants now. 2-1 is swung on and slapped, vacuumed up by Johnson at third, throws over, gets the runner, out number 1. One hopper, Glimmerud's able to actually come up with it cleanly for out number 1, brings up top of the Steelers order, Alejandro Hiraldo. Second baseman going through his routine before stepping into the box. Montero's pitch in there, called strike. On deck is Tracy. Montero's 0-1 gets blown by the wind there. Ball 1. As the wind has started to pick up again. 1-1 is not checked. It is now 1-2 as first base umpire says no, that was not a check swing. Montero has a sign. 1-2 on its way in there for a beautiful called strike 3 looking. Ball is being thrown around the horn. Brings up the bat now with 2 outs, Max Tracy. Don't know if the wind had anything to do with that ball, but that was just a really nice looking pitch. Tracy now in the batter's box as the sun is out once again covering the field. And as I say that, it's behind the clouds. How funny. And ball is not in there. It is low. April here in our area, our little corner of Germany, is very beautiful as everything is turning green. Flowers are coming out. You can never predict what the weather's going to do. Swung on and chopped foul. But as long as you have the right clothes, it doesn't matter. This morning you needed rain boots and a heavy jacket, and this afternoon all you need is something to break the wind. Yoakum set up on the outside. 1-1 pitch is in there for a called strike. Another nice pitch from Montero. Yoakum sets low. The 1-2 doesn't catch the top of the zone. 2-2. Montero's 2-2 swung on and missed. Ball's in the dirt. Yoakum throws down to complete the strikeout to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Montero as he is congratulated as he comes off the field. Great inning by the Storm's new pitcher. Going into the bottom of the fifth, Storm down by 3. Coming here into the bottom of the fifth inning, it will be Vacchio, Teixeira, and Johnson for the Storm. Great inning in the top of the fifth inning by Storm's new pitcher, Javier Montero. Bacchio at bat. First pitch he sees catches the outside for a called strike 1. Anduza still out there, 68 pitches on 69 pitches on the afternoon now. Bacchio ducks out of the way of a pitch called ball. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One and two is outside for ball 2. Might be some bit of activity for the Steelers in their bullpen. I just see a couple of guys out stretching. Foul tip back to the backstop. Stays alive in the at-bat. Visser slaps the ball, but his counterpart catches it on the fly for out number 1. That'll bring up the bat Augustine Teixeira. Teixeira batting now here in the bottom of the fifth inning. First pitch swinging, but ball was in the dirt. Anduza's 0-1 pitch now on its way. Catches the outside corner of, it was a low outside corner call, strike 2. Teixeira, I don't think, agreed with that, just stepped out of the box just to recollect himself. Now the 0-2 pitch, swung and slapped into the wheat field, stays alive in the at-bat. On deck is Zach Johnson, and in the hole is Daniel Martins. That pitch is in the left-handed batter's box for Ball 1. That's a chopper, but just foul as it hits the baseline and then bounces into foul territory. Teixeira has to go back, very similar to what happened his previous at bat, where a ball go foul and caused him to scamper back from first. Now he's back. Bat is collected, and he's back in the box. Still a 2-1 count with one out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's a swing at a ball low, pretty much in the dirt for swinging out number 2. 2 outs brings up our third baseman, number 9, Zach Johnson. Johnson, the British Columbia native, now in the batter's box. First pitch he sees in there for a called strike. Johnson had a 3-run home run yesterday afternoon in game 1 of this 2-game series. Next pitch is low, ball 1. Johnson gets on base. Daniel Martins is on deck. Mendoza shakes off one sign, likes the other. And Johnson's sky is a very high and long strike number 2 as that ball goes into the wheat fields. Johnson lays off the next pitch that is outside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs now for Johnson. Ball 3. Johnson has now worked a full count here with 2 outs. Three-two pitch is really low and inside, bounces in the dirt and skips away. Doesn't matter. It's ball 4 for Johnson. That brings up Daniel Martins. Danny up now with a teammate at first. Has an opportunity to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Keep the inning going for Storm. Daniel Martins in the box now, waiting on the first pitch from Mendoza. Pitch on his way, swing and a miss, foul at the plate, goes underneath the catcher. Strike 1. Mendoza now at 87 pitches on the afternoon. Next pitch swung on and slapped for, missed by the right fielder. Johnson continuing on to third as Daniel Martin's in there with a 2-out double. Missed by the right fielder. Center fielder had to collect that one before it got to the warning track. It's now 2 runners in scoring position for our first baseman, Tobias Glimmerud. Daniel Martin's able to keep the inning going with that 2-out double. And because of that, conversation now being held between the catcher and pitcher for the Steelers. Conversation's over. Now the runners in scoring position. Tobias Glimmerud has a chance to bring home a runner from third. First pitch he sees on the way. It is, catches the outside zone for a called strike. Glimmerud able to actually keep the inning going. Swing and a miss, strike two. He'll bring up catcher Douglas Yoakum. Outside for a ball. Glimmerud waiting for the 1-2 pitch. Fights it off and drives it, but unfortunately it stays foul. But the at-bat stays alive here. Off the end of the bat, down the left field line, but it doesn't drop fair. Swing and a miss on a ball outside ends the inning. There's some discussion being had as the ball was apparently picked up by the catcher. Catcher says he caught the ball. Umpires say that he caught the ball, but other eyes saw different. Doesn't matter. End of the inning. Going into the top of the sixth, Storm down by 3. Going into the top of the sixth inning, Storm down by 3. Montero taking his warm-up tosses. He'll face Imka, Lucina, and Harder for the Steelers here in this half inning. The discussion that was going on at the end of the previous inning was about the ball itself. Swinging strike, but the ball was on the ground. That means that the runner is able to run to first since the base was open. Home plate umpire and infield umpire both ruled that the catcher had caught the ball, though it appeared the ball was on the ground and picked up. No throw was given. First pitch Montero in there for a called strike. Some baseball rules for you, if you're not aware. If the first base is open, the batter who strikes out is able to advance if the ball is not caught cleanly by the catcher. Swing in a half-hearted swing for strike 2 by Imka. Glimmerud should have been able to run down to first as no throw was given, and it's a weak swing. Oh, nope, called it a foul tip. Stays alive. Storm manager Dickman was wanting to ask why the tag or a thrown didn't need to be applied, but the third base and home plate umpires outside ball one both said no, the ball was caught, even from our vantage point here in the press box, the glove was on the ground and the ball was trapped and not actually caught. Regardless, it ended the inning. But there's the baseball rules for you this afternoon. Swing in a chopper to second, fielded cleanly, throws over for the out. That'll bring up number 11, Lucina. Montero looking in, has his sign, and pitch to Lucina. Not swinging, but the ball is in there for strike one. There was some kind of action in the Steelers bullpen, but those players have stopped stretching and they're out now back sitting down. Maybe it's too cold for them. Montero's pitch was outside, but not in zone. Ball one. Montero's 1-1, catches the inside for a called strike two. Lucina, I don't think, liked that call, but it was just inside, catching the zone. But the 1-2 doesn't catch the bottom. So it is now a 2-2 count. On deck is Mark Harder. Swing and a miss, strike two. I'm sorry, strike three, and that's out number two. So that's 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Brings up to bat the shortstop, Mark Harder. Montero's first pitch to Harder is outside for a ball. Shadows are dancing across the Thomas, as I'm able to see that. Next pitch is high, ball two. It is a beautiful day for baseball. It'd be nice to have a doubleheader, but I know these guys would be not happy with a longer drive back home to Hamburg. Montero's 2-0, swung on and hit, and drops in front of Baccio in left field for a 2-out single. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Bundy. Bundy waiting on the pitch from Montero. Outside, ball one. Looked like Harder was doing a little dancing off of first before the pitch was thrown. Low outside, ball two. Looks like they're wanting to pitch away from Bundy here. And it's a swing fielded by the shortstop, throws over for out number three. Another great inning by Montero. Javier Montero able to induced the ground ball out for out number 3, sends us into the bottom of the 6th inning. After that inning, we're still down by 3. Hamburg Steelers 6, Hünstetten Storm 3, going into the bottom of the 6th inning. Going into the home half of the 6th inning, Storm down by 3. Anduza's still on the mound. He's sitting at 93 pitches on the afternoon. But there is activity starting in the Steelers bullpen. For now, it looks like it's going to be Douglas Yoakum, and Oliver Yoakum looks like he will be pinch hit for. We'll see if that holds still. As of now, it is Douglas Yoakum coming up to bat. Yoakum is 1 for 2 with a run scored this afternoon. Bats now to start the home half of the 6th inning. First pitch he sees is low for ball 1. Gets Wood on the next pitch, but right to the second baseman, throws over for out number 1. Anduza induces the ground ball, and that will bring up the bat pinch hitter number 5, Justin Olick. Justin Olick in as pinch hitter for Oliver Yoakum. On deck is Phil Meyer. First pitch to Olick catches that outside zone for for strike 1. Though that next pitch is low and inside for ball 1, so it is a 1-1 count on Olick. Olick joined us on Friday. 1-1 pitch, low and outside, ball 2. He was playing baseball in Croatia, originally from Vancouver, Canada. Hey, good morning to his father, who's watching quite early. Swing and a chopper, bounced, fielded cleanly by the third baseman, throws over for out number 2. Now with 2 outs brings up Phil Meyer, designated hitter. Phil Meyer stepping now into the right-handed batter's box with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch in there at the bottom of the zone for a called strike 1. Activity continues in the Steelers bullpen. Ball bounced up in there for a ball. Meyer able to get on base. It will be Jake McKenzie who's on deck. Myers gives it a ride, but to the right fielder. It's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 6th inning. We'll go into the top of the 7th. Storm down by 3. We go into the top of the 7th inning. Storm down by 3. Montero's still on the mound getting his warm-up tosses. He'll face Zimmerman, Killich, and Schultz in the visitors' half of the 7th inning. Zimmerman is in the box. Designated hitter is ready for the offering from Montero. The pitch doesn't catch the top of the zone. Ball 1. Clouds are coming in. Looking over to my left, which would be the that pretty much the direction of Bonn and Cologne itself. Clouds are coming in. Ball is outside. But the wind is still blowing in from left field. Montero's 2-0 in there for a called strike. No rain really in the forecast, but we'll see what these clouds bring. Hopefully it's just the blue skies I see behind them. Pitch is chopped to shortstop, throws over for out number 1. That'll bring up number 16, Marvin Killich, the first baseman for the Steelers. Killich is 0 for 2 on the afternoon with a walk. I think the wind is picking up a little bit more now. First pitch outside, just barely outside, ball 1. Ball skipped up to the catcher and goes over to the on-deck circle. Ball 2. Not sure if that was just a grip problem or maybe the wind pushed it down a little too close to home plate. But the next pitch is in there for a called strike. On deck is Heinrich Schultz, the first baseman for the Steelers today. Montero's 2-1 offering is high. It is now 3 balls, 1 strike to the Steelers' first baseman. Catches zone, full count. Unfortunately, the next ball is high and outside for ball 4. It's a 1-out walk issued by Montero. Brings up Schultz. First pitch swinging directly to shortstop. Oh, does not get the force. Throw was on time, but Kilish apparently was able to get his foot on the bag before the ball was there. First base umpire ruled him safe on the throwback. Continues the inning with 2 outs, brings up to bat number 6, the second baseman, Geraldo. First pitch, Geraldo is in there for a strike. Game is in shadows now as clouds are blocking out the sun. Outside, ball 1. A 1 ball, 1 strike count with 2 outs. Outside, ball 2. Ball 3, as the ball does not catch the side of the zone. Montero's 3-1 on its way. In there for a called strike. As Geraldo was walking across home plate, thinking it was a ball. Full count now on the second baseman from the Steelers. Runner going. Swing and a foul at home plate. Runner will have to go back. Looks like Geraldo fouled that ball off of his foot. So, Montero looking in for his signs now. Runner going again, and ball is outside. Lost him on ball 4. Puts 2 on for Tracy. So, another 2-out walk, but that does put runners at first and second. Up to bat now is number 2, Tracy. And that'll bring out Yoakum to talk to his pitcher. Very quick conversation. Maybe there's some mix-up on the signs, as Montero did just join yesterday, as I said, so maybe still some miscommunication, but whatever it is. Quickly discussed. That first pitch, though, was low and outside for a ball. Long look in, has the pitch that he wants. 1-0 is swung on high. Playable. And caught. Woo! As I said earlier, wind was being a factor, and that was very clear on that pop-up as Zach Johnson had to run towards home plate to catch that ball. So if you ever wanted to see, does wind factor in baseball, that was a clear indicator. Going into the bottom of the seventh, Storm down by 3. Time for all of you to get up and stretch. 7th inning stretch time here in Hünstetten. As Take Me Out to the Ball Game is played here at Dickman Field. Mendoza still on the mound for the Steelers, sitting at 102 pitches on the afternoon. He'll face the top of the Storm order, McKenzie, Bacchio, and Teixeira, 1, 2, 3 in this inning. Coaches taking their positions, and Jake McKenzie is in the box. Activity resumes in the Steelers bullpen. McKenzie's first pitch swinging. Skies a pitch that is just a long strike number 1 as it gets blown by the wind into foul territory. McKenzie back in the box now. As was seen in the last out of the top of the inning, ball gets in the air, the wind's going to be pushing it back. Ball is skipped off of the chest protector of the catcher. Ball 1. McKenzie swings that next pitch, but it is pushed down to the right fielder for out number 1. That'll bring up to bat our left fielder, number 17, Vestia Bacchio. On deck is Agustin Teixeira. First pitch swinging, grounder to second, vacuumed and thrown over to first for out number 2. Now, 2 quick outs brings up our shortstop, Agustin Teixeira. As Teixeira steps into the box waiting for the offering from Mendoza. Outside, ball 1. Next pitch, same place, outside, ball 2. Inside and low, ball 3. And Doza wanted that pitch to be called a strike. It's a 3-0 count. That ball does catch zone for a called strike. As I've said before, when it's a 3-0 count on a struggling pitcher, the next pitch, as long as it's somewhere around zone, it's going to be called, and that's what happened there. 3-1 is outside, ball 4. That'll bring up Zach Johnson. It's a 2-out walk for Teixeira, bringing up his third baseman, Zach Johnson. Hoping Johnson can get a hold of one of these balls, and unfortunately he's just a little bit late on that, fouls it back to the backstop. As we saw yesterday, Johnson can and does have power. Just missed a second home run by, I would say, probably a meter yesterday. That's 3 feet for you using freedom units. Next pitch, slap shot into shallow right field. 2-out single. Moves the runner over to second, so it's now 2 on, 2 out. Brings up our second baseman, number 99, Daniel Martins. Danny Martins now in the batter's box, 2 on, 2 out. First pitch swinging for strike 1. Swinging a chopper down the third base line. Foul ball, strike 2. Ball in the dirt, but does not get past the catcher. He's able to keep it in front of him, even though the ball skips literally in front of him. Runners can't advance. Ball 1. Danny's able to get on base. Tobias Glimmerud is on deck. Hit skied high, but playable. Right fielder shading over. Makes the catch to end the inning. 2 runners stay on base, unfortunately. Going into the top of the 8th inning, Storm down by 3. Going into the top of the 8th inning, we have a pitching change here for Storm. Montero's day is over at 59 pitches. Daniel Martins moves from second to the mound, getting warm-up tosses. Phil Meyer, who had DH duties this afternoon, has moved from DH to playing second base. Martins will face Imka, Lucina, and Harder unless there's a pinch hitter. There was activity in the Steelers bullpen. We'll see if they make a pitching change going into the bottom of the 8th. Since Daniel Martins is a position player being shifted in to pitch, he's being given a little bit extra time to warm up, but warm-up tosses are done. Ball's being thrown around the infield, and that will bring up number 26, the center fielder for the Steelers, Isaias Lucina. My apologies, Mike Imka. I was looking ahead at bat. That's because Lucina was in the on-deck circle and got confused as who was walking up. Conversation going on now. Not sure what's... Bill Dickman was with the Steelers manager, third base umpire, and Zach Johnson all around third base talking about something. But play is resumed. First pitch in there for a called strike. Walgemuth there at third base. Pitch from Martin, skipped up and all the way to the backstop. One ball, one strike count on Imka. Outside, ball 2. Danny Martin's looking in for a sign. Yoakum set up on the outside. Apparently, people walking behind saw baseball and decided to toss it back over the field. Don't really see too many times where play has to be stopped as fans interfere with a German baseball game, but that does happen occasionally. Next pitch is skied high, and that is a home run. Almost hits the people who was walking behind the outfield wall. Solo shot makes it 7-3 Steelers. Let's see if they throw this ball back in. And, yep, that's what she's going to do. Oh, she just got stopped by a Steelers player who was near the bullpen. Last time I saw play stopped because of something a fan did was last season when a photographer was decided to enter the field during play and try to be on the base path and take pictures. When asked what was she doing, she said no one told her she couldn't. That ball is taken directly off of Yoakum, who went running out. He is feeling that one. I don't know if it caught his foot or his knee, but he is hurting a bit. The ball went right in the dirt, and it looked like it bounced directly off the side of his knee. Catcher's job is not easy. Bill Dittman coming out to check on his catcher. As home plate umpire has given time. Doesn't matter how much armor you have as a catcher, the ball is going to hurt wherever it hits you. Play is resumed. It's 1 ball, no strike count. Next pitch swung on and hit foul, out of play. Came close to hitting our ticket booth. One ball, 1 strike count. Does not swing at the next pitch. 2 balls, 1 strike. High, ball 3. Other action going on. The Heidenheim is leading right now, 11-7. My apologies, looking at the wrong score. Ball is hit, slapped into shallow center for a base hit. Heidenheim is leading Muschenhar 13-4 in the top of the 9th inning. It's 2-2 in the top of the 3rd at Bonn. That's all the action going on right now in the DBL. Up to bat now for the Steelers is Harder. No outs, runner at first. Ball inside. Bundy is on deck. Low, ball 2. This wind has picked up once again. Martin's 2-0 in there, just catches zone for a called strike. Two ways to tell when the wind is picking up is the net behind the backstop billows out. Bunt shown. Bunt is not laid down. Bunt is popped up and caught. Unfortunately, the runner at first was able to scamper back. Yoakum, great pop out and pickup of where that ball was. Made the catch along the third base line for out number 1. Theory behind bunting is you don't want to put it in the air. A bunt should go straight into the ground. So poorly executed bunt there by Harder. Now with 1 out and 1 on, brings up the right fielder Bundy. Doesn't catch zone on that pitch. Ball 1. Blue Star catch from both Yoakums today. One in the outfield, one in the infield. Catches outside zone, called strike 1. Yoakum set up on the outside. 1-1 in there, called strike 2. Good pitch by Martin. Martin's 1-2 offering is low, unfortunately, so it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Bundy. Throw over, but a dive back into first base. Luciano wasn't too far off of first. 2-2 swung and a miss. Strike 3. 2 outs now here in the top of the 8th inning. Will bring up the designated hitter, Marlo Zimmerman. Continued bullpen activity in the Steelers visitors bullpen. Great curveball by Martin's in there for strike one. But that ball went inside and hit the batter. That's the ouch way to get on base. Hit by pitch. Puts two on with two out. And that brings up Marvin Kilich. Zimmerman looks like he's in a bit of pain, but he just told his skipper, no, I can fight through it. Martins looks in, has a sign. High for ball one. That's a high pop-up, playable on the infield. Glimmerud takes it for out number 3. The runner does come across on the home run. Going into the bottom of the 8th inning, Storm down by 4. It is 7-3. Steelers at this point, but going into the home half of the 8th inning. Going into the bottom of the 8th inning, Storm down by 4, and Duza is done. He has 117 pitches on the afternoon. He's being replaced by number 69, Maximilian Mueller. Max Mueller, the righty, in now in relief of his starter, Duza. Don't think there's any other changes being made except just the pitcher, as the sun is coming out now. For Storm, it will be Glimmerud, Yoakum, and Olish. Still a lot of baseball left. Max Mueller getting his warm-up tosses in. I can see the shadows dancing across the rapeseed fields in the distance here. As Sweet Caroline being played over the loudspeaker here at Dickman Field. Looks like home plate umpire is giving Mueller all the time he needs to warm up, even though he was warming up in the bullpen earlier. And that is the last warm-up toss. Came at the bat now here in the home half of the 8th inning is our first baseman, Tobias Glimmerud. Toby made the last out of the top of the 8th inning, catching a high pop-up for out number 3. Now he'll lead us off in the home half of the 8th. Mueller has come set. First pitch swinging. It's a welcome to the ball game as Glimmerud almost takes his hat off on a liner directly back to the pitcher over his head. It is a hard hit single up the middle. Leadoff single to start the 8th. Brings up the bat Douglas Yoakum. Now Yoakum waiting on the first pitch from Mueller. And he is first pitch swinging, and it is a bobbled single that goes away from the right fielder. Glimmerud is going to come around to score. And Yoakum has a stand-up triple as the ball went under the glove of the right fielder. RBI triple for Yoakum. The cuts into the lead is now 7-4. And that brings up the bat, number 5, Justin Ulich. Ulich batting now with no outs and runner in scoring position. Let's see if it'll be another first pitch swinging. I'll look in the box, waiting. Offering from Mueller on its way. Not first pitch swinging. Pitch gets away, and Yoakum in from third on the wild pitch. It is now 7-5. 7-5, no outs. Like I said, a lot of ball game left, ladies and gentlemen. One ball, no strike count to Ulich. Takes a pitch in there for a called strike. Honestly surprised Ulich didn't swing at that pitch, considering that if it's near the zone, it was the first pitch swinging from two teammates. Anyway, the 1-1 outside, ball 2. On deck is Phil Meyer. Mueller has his pitch driven deep to right center. Unfortunately, the right fielder is able to catch it. Ulich is robbed of a very nice hit ball for out number 1. Brings up the bat our own Phil Meyer. Meyer waiting from the pitch from Mueller. First pitch swinging, skies it high, still playable, stays on the infield, and it is caught on I'll give a Blue Star catch on that catch to the Steelers. Wow. Right fielder had to leap to make the catch, or he would have not called it in foul territory. Unfortunate for Phil. Unfortunate for Storm. Now with 2 outs brings up number 2, Jake McKenzie. Catcher set up on the outside, and the first pitch from Mueller is swinging by McKenzie. Slow roller fielded by the shortstop, but no chance at getting McKenzie. No chance at all. The slow roller actually helped McKenzie leg out the infield single. A 2-out infield single brings up the bat Vester Bascio. Boccio waiting on the offering from Mueller. McKenzie on its way. No throw. Ball 1. McKenzie now at second base on the no throw from the catcher. McKenzie now dancing. No throw back. Not sure how that didn't hit Boccio as that went way inside. Looked like catcher and batter kind of got tangled up for a moment. Ball 2. McKenzie dancing around drew the attention of Mueller, caused him to step off the rubber. There is activity in the Steelers bullpen. McKenzie's gone. It is a strike. Home plate umpire says Boccio swung the bat. Not sure how that happens considering that the ball was in the dirt and there was no swing even made. Okay, whatever. McKenzie's on second now. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position with 2 balls, 1 strike. Catcher sets up on the outside. That's a swing. It's a high pop-up out of play. Fan in attendance thought about catching that ball, but realized he'd have to run down a little incline, but didn't. I think you may have even seen that on camera. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Here's a pitch, swung on and deep. Unfortunately, not the direction it needs to go. It goes way into the wheat field. Keeps that bat alive, though. You know, Boccio has the power. He just needs the ball to be hit more in play than that. Hit by a pitch. Ouch. That really went inside. Telling the pitcher, no, it's okay. It's okay. Now with 2 on, 2 outs, brings up the batter shortstop, number 8, Augustine Teixeira. Teixeira having an opportunity to hit here in the bottom of the 8th inning with a runner in scoring position at third. First pitch swinging and unfortunately caught by the second baseman. Well, rally ends, but a crooked number put on the board as 2 Storm come across. Cuts into the lead from the Steelers. After 8, Steelers 7, Storm 5, going into the top of the ninth. Yep. Going into the top of the ninth inning, Storm down by 2. Danny Martin still on the bump for Storm. He'll face Schultz, Geraldo, and Tracy. When the sun is out, I just cannot express how beautiful it is here. First pitch to Schultz is a called strike. Wind is blowing, not as hard, but it is causing the ball to fly a little funny. That second pitch low for a ball. Sun is out now. You can see from the shadows on the field. Second pitch in there for a called strike. Low and in the dirt, ball 2. Two-two count here to lead off the top of the ninth inning. Does not get the call. That pitch has pretty much been a strike the entire game. Unfortunately, it wasn't called. It is now a full count now. Oliver Yoakum behind the dish thought for sure it was a... Can't deny that one. That was a called strike 3 looking. Previous pitch should have been called strike 3 as it was anyway, but regardless. With one out, second baseman for the Steelers, Geraldo up to bat. And on deck is Tracy. Pitch does not catch zone. Ball is hit, but fielded by shortstop, throws over for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down, brings up number 2, Max Tracy. Once again, there's action in the Steelers bullpen. Ball skipped up in there. Ball 1. But the next pitch does catch the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike count now on Tracy with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth inning. Swung on and chopped. Fair, unfortunately, bobbled by the third baseman Johnson. for a 2-out. 2-out hit until the official score tells me otherwise. Ruled a hit. Now 2 outs, runner at first brings up Mike Imke, center fielder for the Steelers. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Yoakum threw down the second. As Tracy did fake a run to the second, but he changed direction, went back just as quickly. One ball, 2 strike count. Runner is going, pitch out. And got him on the throw. Nicely done by Douglas Yoakum on that throw to second. Guns down the runner to end the inning. Going into the bottom of the 9th inning, Storm down only 2 runs. Going into the bottom of the 9th, Storm down by 2. Hamburg leading 7-5. Max Mueller still on the mound for the Steelers. He'll face Johnson, Martins, and Glimmerud. Let's see if Storm can complete the comeback. Mueller getting warm-up tosses in. Ball is now being thrown around. And that will start the bottom of the 9th. Coming to bat now for Hünstetten Storm, third baseman Zach Johnson. Mueller is set. Johnson taking all the way in there for called strike. Oh, swung on, foul to the backstop. Quickly Johnson in the hole, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch skipped up in there for a ball. Mueller's 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Unfortunate. Strikeout. Up to bat now for Storm is the second baseman, Daniel Martins. On deck is Tobias Glimmerud. Martins taking all the way. Called strike one. Oh, 1 is inside, so it's now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count now to Daniel Martins. Danny gets wood on that one. Unfortunately, pops it foul and out of play. As I see a couple of kids trying to go after that ball. Let's see if they find this one. Wheatfield has taken a couple of the balls hit into it today. And Danny stays alive on that foul ball. Still 1 ball, 2 strike count to Daniel Martins. One, two. Martin having to duck out of the way of that one as it comes a little too inside. Ball 2. Oh, that is unfortunate. Called strike 3, which looked clearly outside. Home plate umpire says, nope, it's my strike zone. I'll say what I want. Call strike 3. There's now 2 outs. Brings up the bat Max Glimmerud. Max able to get on deck, get on base. On deck is Douglas Yoakum. The first pitch to Glimmerud inside, same place as the last pitch. It was called a strike 3, but that was inside and called a ball. Catcher set up on the outside. Pitch is in there for a called strike 1. So, Max Mueller has come set. 1-1 to Glimmerud. Way up and outside. Ball 2. Two one. Swing and a foul ball into the other field. Little one who was playing was very near where that ball landed. Thankfully, it didn't land on his head. 2-2 with 2 outs now to Glimmerud. It's a chopper fielded by the third baseman. And a throw over to end the inning. And it ends the game. Unfortunate ending, though Storm never gave up. Final from Hünstetten, Hamburg Steelers 7, Hünstetten Storm 5. Storm never gave up, and comeback was in effect, but unfortunate, got stopped. So that'll end this 2-game series here in Hünstetten. Next weekend, Storm's on the road. Next Saturday and Sunday, Storm will be playing in Dortmund. Our next home game is not until May 3rd. Next home game will be against the Cologne Cardinals on May 3rd at 2 o'clock. It is part of a two-game, two-city series, as we do have occasionally. We'll play a game here in Hünstetten, and the second game will be played in Cologne. Once again, final from Hünstetten. Hamburg Steelers 7, Hünstetten Storm 5. I've been your voice of the Hünstetten Storm, James Passo, and I say have a great afternoon, and we'll see you next time.